Morning. Where are we here? 8 o'clock. Wi-Fi up. Stream shows green. Looking good, I think. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Here we are. And here they come. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Quiet stream this morning. Quiet stream this morning. It's the kind of work. We might have seen it before on stream. I'm not quite sure. We saw this a while back when I received a shipment of Great Waves from Kubota-san, our champion printer. We just got a new batch of Fox Moon from him. He's done okay, as he should. A little bit cigarette smell. We tell him time and time again not to smoke when he's making prints, but you know, what do you do? So we have to air them out. Our staff in Ome will have to air them out carefully before we can send them. He's chopped a few off in the corner. And these will be the first few sheets he did when he did the batch. And so you can see the color is not ready. He was getting his blocks warmed up and get going. So I'll use one of those as my own first test. What I have to do this morning is I have to put the name in. All our prints get, all these prints get embossed. At the moment there's just empty space here. I've got an embossing block. Perhaps you can see it in the reflection. It's another polymer plate we use for these lettering. Same as we use for the lettering on the subscription series. It says Horiburu Carving Bull Suri Kubota Kenichi. And I need to moisten the paper slightly. So just a sec, I forgot to prepare that. Let me get a piece of cloth here. Hang on a second. Just a moment, please. I think we get this stuff from Canada, actually. It's some kind of paper towel, industrial paper towel. It's not Japanese. The local home center gets it, and it seems to be Canadian. Horrible Dave, nay, Horrible Bull, Horrible Dave. What's this, 2 minutes late? Unacceptable, you're fired. Jed's here. Good morning, sir. I see there's somebody here that doesn't get the horrible joke. Doesn't know about this. It's fair enough. Okay. Horrible Dave, a name I will wear with pride. Okay, I'll use, these are the two junk copies at the top, so I'll use a couple of these to test. Now I have to test two things. The paper varies here, so I've got to know where to put this. It's a bit too far out, I think. Halfway in, can I? That'll be about right, maybe. Let's see. We don't have carved registration marks, they're just lines drawn on paper. That'll do it. Let's test one. This is quite thick, hard paper, and he struggled a bit on this batch. If you look at the front, so he's got a good job. The prints are, the paper's smooth, the colors are smooth. But when you look at the back side, you can see there's little dots, small dots in the pattern here. The sizing was too hard. And he complained to us, you're getting the sizing a bit too hard. I don't know if you can see it. See the speckled pattern on when you see it on the back here? The small dots in the paper. These are places where the glue is maybe a bit too hard. And he's managed to get it so that it doesn't show on the front. But an inexperienced printer ends up with that dotted pattern showing on the front. So he was not happy with our sizing on this sheet. But because he's experienced, he could pull it off. Okay, I gotta get going. I'll be here all day. Somebody explaining the joke? Okay, let's do this. As I speak right now, I was going to say Cameron, not Cameron, William. William is downstairs working on the last of the three cabinets that he's building while he's here. And it's his last day. Tomorrow he's back home, I hear. And we're down to 3 of us, me, Aoyama-san, and Kawai-san, to do the rest of the construction. We had sort of thought we might get it up and running by March 1st, but now that it's only going to be 3 of us, I don't have a chance, not a chance of that happening. So, here we go. Can you see it? Horiburu Suri Kubota Kenichi. Too much light there. Must be the place I can get it. There you go. You can see it there, right? I think it's visible. There you are. Nice embossing. People ask us about this, and will the embossing wear out or fade or get weak after X years and stuff? I know it's in there. It's as permanent as the paper itself. It's absolutely permanent. You know, we've got prints from 1820 and whatever that have similar embossing or textures are printed, and it just stays. It just stays. Like, what am I doing now? It's going to be that corner, so let's get this sorted out. Just a very slight moistening. I've got about 80 sheets to do with this, and once this is done, looking good. Okay, let's roll. I'll need an intake and an outtake. Here we go. Let's go. What's the daily plan? You mean today's plan? What I'll be doing today is there's 2 jobs. I've got to do this embossing first, and then I'll be pulling out the owls here. I've got to do the key block on a bunch of the owls. None of the lady printers have a brother that can help you. Here in Japan, it's easy. If we were in Canada and we need help doing some framing and laying a floor and painting and plastering and doing that sort of stuff, running a bit of wiring, there's any number of people that can help. You know somebody who knows somebody who can do it, because everybody can do this sort of stuff. But here in Japan, that's not the case. Here in Japan, it's 0 or 100%. You've either got a professional who knows how to lay floors, or you've got Mr. Salaryman who doesn't have a clue how to do such a thing. We found this the other day, Kawai-san, our young printer, you've seen him working at this bench. He didn't even know how to use a crowbar. He had to be taught how to get in there and rip down a wall. So there's no access to a pool of people who can help us with this stuff. I'm sure among all the people who are watching this stream, maybe I'll drop over this afternoon and help you. If you were living here, if it was local, It doesn't work like that in Japan. we've done so far, though, it's gone well. I know the bathroom is now framed and I say insulated, it's sound insulated. We put some solid foam in the walls to try and keep the bathroom noise to a minimum. You know, the bathroom's stuck in the middle of the shop, so we have to be careful about that. Someone's browsing prints and just either the other side of the wall is the toilet, you know. So the bathroom is up and framed, and I've confirmed now that there's not enough light in the bathroom. We've doubled the size of the bathroom, the room, and haven't changed the light yet, so the old light is way too weak. So I'm going to have to get down and get up there and pull that out and put a new fixture in, a stronger light fixture. And William is just now, he's downstairs right now working on the third of the browser bins. He's put together the carcass. The last few days that's been his job. He's put together the carcass of the browser bins for prints. In the current shop we have one browser bin. And we're going to 3. I better be careful. If I get these upside down and then trim them, I'll be in big trouble. Okay, look at this, I've already done that. The most fun we're going to have with the construction down there is going to be on the party room, the print party room at the back. Because that room has to be totally transformed. It's the old kitchen for the restaurant. It's got these funky tiles around the outside of it. It's got a tin ceiling, some metal ceiling up at the top. It's got a disastrous floor that's been carved and dug out and recovered and dug out over the years. And there's no aspect of it you can use it as it is. It's got to be totally transformed. So we're going to bring the floor up. We're going to turn it into a Japanese room with tatami mats. Some nice wood paneling. Bring down a hanging ceiling. And I'd like to do a wooden hanging ceiling if I can get enough structural strength up there. You know, the normal hanging ceilings are bits of foam, really light stuff. But I want to do a wooden ceiling. But we can only do that if there's really good structure up there to hang it from. This is earthquake country. You don't put heavy stuff over your head without incredible anchoring. Somebody's asking me about what other interests beyond printmaking. No, I know nothing really. My life revolves just around our activities here. There's no time to think about anything else. I don't go to movies and stuff. There's so much now going on here. So much fun stuff going on here, you know, that I don't have any interest or time or whatever for anything else. Over the years, my life has, become more and more and more circumscribed. And that wouldn't be so good for somebody younger. But at my age now, it doesn't matter. I don't need to keep a wide open mind. My job now is to just do this job as well as I can. I used to keep up with general affairs and stuff quite a lot, but after the election last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, I let go of that stuff. You can see Kubota-san really must have struggled with this, The pattern, as I said before, you see the mottling of the pattern here on the back. He's really struggled with it. The picture on the front is totally okay because he's got enough know-how and enough guts to be able to pull it through. But an inexperienced printer would not have a clue how to do this. I'm very happy we're still able to use him. He's retiring soon, but at the moment he's helping us a lot. What's the question here? I can't see. Strongest earthquake. It's the big one. You know, the one from the Tohoku earthquake a few years ago. The one that devastated the area up there, killed, what, thousands and thousands of people. It was strong in Tokyo. Very, very strong in Tokyo. I was visiting on our printer, Numabi-san. And in fact, I sort of screwed up a little bit here. I was visiting Numabi-san, and I had my Handycam, and I was watching him print with the Handycam on at the moment the earthquake started to hit. And we didn't know it was a monster earthquake. It starts slowly, because Tokyo is a long, 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 long way away from the epicenter. So it just felt like a wave and a wave and a wave. So we thought, let's do the sensible thing. So I turned the camera off, and just as I did that, the paste on his bench, the paste cup on his bench went sideways, and paste went all over the bench, and things really started to get crazy. So that's it. We dropped everything and ran outside. So I lost my chance to film it. If I'd have had a bit more presence of mind, I would have left the camera on and filmed it, but I didn't. So. And it was really funny. When we got outside, they're in the Yoshida studio is in a bit of a sort of a little back corner street. You can't see too far, but because the buildings were shaking a lot, we thought this is not a good place to be. So we walked walked, half ran to a nearby main street. Not a main street, but a long straight street, where we get away from wires and stuff. And we were standing on this straight street, and you can see whatever all the way down the street. And as we watched the street in the distance, you could see a wave like this coming in the concrete in the street. Here comes, woo, up we go, down we go. Here's the next one, woo, up we go, down we go. It's the street, the concrete of the street. And the telephone poles, each one, boom, boom, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. It was insane, absolutely insane. And this is Tokyo, you know, hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away from the epicenter. And up there, buildings were falling, people were trapped and dying, tsunami. But even in Tokyo, it was scary. And it was obvious after it settled down, you know, 5 minutes later, whatever, after it settled down, it was obvious that the infrastructure in Tokyo wasn't devastated, but the trains, there's no way trains were going to be running. And I was in Yoshida Studio, which is 45 kilometers from my home. This is before we had Asakusa. So there I am in Yoshida Studio, 45 kilometers. It's 2 o'clock, whatever it was in the afternoon, something in the afternoon. So that's it. I just got my backpack ready, headed to the local convenience store before the panic set in. I bought a bunch of bottles of water, a bunch of snacks, bought some dinner, a bunch of granola bars. And then started walking. I didn't make it home. It was too far. Didn't make it home that night. What's this double questions happening here? Sorry guys, I haven't been careful up here. Coming to Japan, height. Shipping address, whatever. I want to send someone to change the shipping address. We change addresses all the time. People subscribe to us, and many of the people subscribing to our prints are young people. They're very mobile. I know there's no month that goes by without a bunch of people asking us to change the address. So just write to us if I'm not sure about the streamers. If somebody has moved, just write to us and let us know. How would I email them? Just go to the mokohangkong.com website. There's contact links all over the website. Just use one of the contact forms. sending someone a gift. We do this all the time as well. When people order something through the website, there's comment places on the website, and many people ask us, please, invoice them, pay them, and we send the gift to somebody else with a note. Now, here's a small gift from Japan sent to you at the request of, blah, 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 the person whose name has ordered it. We also do the subscription prints as gifts. There's not a lot of them. Maybe a couple of dozen people are doing that. Every month the email goes to the sponsor person. Hi, the next print is ready. They pay it, and we send the print off to the person who's designated. Is the embossing showing if I try and catch the light? Is it there if I catch the light? Bottom left corner of the print. Horiburu Suri Kubota Kenichi. Don't know how close I can get before it doesn't focus. Repetitive work here this morning. Sorry. Not sorry, but that's our business. That's our life. Repetitive work is our life here. There was some crying in the printing room here yesterday. Ayumi-san, she's the one who's sitting, that's her bench behind me. She was starting to clean up, like take stuff home, because she's come to the end of the line here. End of the line, whatever. She got pregnant half a year or so ago, left right away. I guess she had a not bad couple of months, I don't know how to say it, whatever. She was ill, sick, whatever, the first couple of months, but it got stable. Then she came back, it would be about 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago. She came back to do more work while she's cooking her baby. And she didn't want to take big stuff. She couldn't do those big doi hunger prints. But she's been doing postcards and subscription prints for the past couple of months. But she's now let us know that that's it. The thing is, become too big and that's it. So I think she'll be here today. Today's Friday. She'll be here today, maybe Monday and Tuesday. And then she said she's coming back on Thursday with her husband for a visit. And that's it. They're going to, say thank you and goodbye and thanks for all the fish and I'm gone. So that'll be it for Ayumi-san. We don't know when we'll see her again. She says she's still interested in this work, but whether she has 1 kid or 2 kids and how soon they will get in daycare and stuff like that, it's all way up in the air. So all we can do at this point is just say goodbye to her and hope that at some point in the future she still wants to do this work, so. But the Sugi-san, sitting on the other bench there, she will be left basically alone in this room here. Ishikawa-san, who gets the bench at the right, she only comes 2 days a week. She's caring for her mother, who is at the end of life, and that's difficult, so she can't do too much here. Sugi-san's okay. Has no such responsibilities, but she's the one who's here by herself every day, so she's feeling very sabishi, lonely. Jed-san, while you're here, I meant to ask you, we're sending a package to you this afternoon, the 15 more Trial of Strength that you had asked for. You know, Suga-san's second batch was finished this week, and we're sending some to you for the royalty for signing, and we're sending, you said you wanted 15 more. While we're sending those, are you okay for foxes? If you need more foxes, let me know today, and we can put them in the same package. I think you got a batch. You got some just a while back, so maybe you don't need any, but I don't know. Anyway, it's a chance today. Let me know if you need some. Any hopes of new printers joining soon? We've been asking and phoning and asking and whatever. I don't have anything on the horizon right now that I can report, or even not that I can't report. Nothing. Live stock take in the comments. No need for fox moons. We have plenty. Okay, we need some, so we'll be putting, I think, 20. So I'm going to put 20 in the batch for royalty signing for the shop, because we're totally out in the shop right now. Quick, everyone, order more fox moons. Don't. Just keep it slow and steady. I don't want any quick panic rush. Keep it slow and steady. Somebody having stream trouble. I'm green, 0 drop frames, CPU 14%, problem 0. I have no other software running on the machine. No other machine is active in this building. I think we're okay at this end, I think. Fingers crossed. If you know how these colors work, you know, the way me and Jet did this. If you look at the fox, for example, he's got an upper kimono and a lower kimono. And it's probably not apparent when you look at it first. The color on the hakama, pants, whatever you want to call them, that color goes under the upper dress as well. Then the pattern you see here is carved in, to do the green block, prints on top of this color. So we get no chance of gaps, and I don't have to carve it twice. We don't have to carve a positive color and a negative color here. So we just have to simply, on the green block, we cut away that pattern, and this shows through. But they look different. The color on the pants and the color inside that pattern here look a bit different because they're surrounded by different things. And we did the same thing all over this print. The the rabbit down here. See the skin tone on him? The skin tone goes under his kimono. And that's what you see showing through these patterns. We then printed a brown on top of it with a pattern cut out. So the pattern was negative. We did it the other way around on the frog. On the frog, we printed the light blue first, and then we printed on top of it a pattern cut in positive shape. So the pattern turned out darker than the undertone. Here, the pattern is lighter than the undertone. But in each case, we don't have to carve twice. See what I'm getting at? This looks like you've carved it twice. A green shape with all the patterning cut out, and then the pattern shape. But no, we only have to carve it once. And again, up on the falcon, the same thing, if you can see it. There's a lighter color printed as an undertone. It's from the pants. It goes right up under the kimono as well. And then the top one has the pattern sliced out of it. So for each one of these 4 characters, we doubled the printing. I mean, the printing is a 2-layer for each of the kimono patterns, but all the kimono patterns only had to be carved once. What's this? I see my name here. Watching this while listening to Metallica. Not at this end. What are my ideas about the service counter in the new shop design-wise? Well, it's designed here in terms of I know what I want it to look like. I haven't designed it on paper yet, centimeters and layout as far as cutting wood yet. I'm not ready to do the wood. I let that go for a while because we were expecting that would be the second main job that William will be doing with us. But he's bailed. He's on his way back home tomorrow, so that's going to be me who has to design and build that thing. So. Any joints you would recommend to someone who's visiting Tokyo? I'm not quite sure what you mean, joints. Bars or activities or... I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, Will's going home. He's leaving tomorrow. And as I said, I don't actually quite know why. You'll have to ask him about that. He was very, whatever. I don't want to talk about it too much. Just, he can tell you what's going on. I don't know. It must be, what's today? Friday. So last weekend he spoke to me one morning, and he's very generic. I know some issues have come up or something's come up back home. He didn't even actually tell me what it was. And he said, I want to go back home. So he changed his flight, and that's it. Either he doesn't like working with me, maybe I'm too strict, I don't know, I've heard that before somewhere, or something's come up, I have no idea. Anyway, he's out of here tomorrow morning. Another nice print, we're being really careful with these. We're up to, I don't know, Jed could tell you more, because Jed's the guy that does the numbering on these. We're up to about 1,000, I think, over 1,000 on these now. And the key block is just simply in magnificent shape. We've got small costly scratch carving, it's still okay. We really, really, really take care of our blocks here, unlike generic publishers who just don't care, you know. Those of you who follow the Great Wave series, you know, I looked at the block under a microscope after about 1,000 copies, and it's looking really good. I hesitate to put a number on how many we're going to get, but we're cruising past 1,000 and no sign of degradation. Oh, shot, stream, chat. $881. Okay, near 1,000. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. I thought it was over 1,000. Yeah, it's the rickshaw cart that's over 1,000. So this is running a close number 2 behind it. So. Okay, that's the end of my pile, but it's not the end of my pile. It's the end of the first part of my pile. When we get a run of these prints done, this is a run of 80. And the way we cut the paper, me and Jed, when we started this series 5 years ago, I was really a bit careless with one thing. I didn't make sure that we matched the dimensions of the print to the traditional paper sizes. It was a real silly mistake on my part. I had no idea it was going to explode as much as it did, and we've been making thousands of these prints over the next few years. So it was really important, you know, it is really important when we're designing prints to publish. You know, traditional paper comes in some certain set sizes. There's what we would call the Masaban size. And when you cut it in half, it makes 2 of what you'd see as the Great Wave prints with a minimal wastage. Then there's the Obirubosho, sorry, my pronunciation here, bit bigger than that. And what that would do is that would make, say, for example, 6 of the old traditional surimono prints with no wastage. And then we get the Takenaga, which is a much, much larger. And we cut that, for example, making this year's subscription series. We cut it in half for sizing, and then it we measured it. You can get 3 by 3 of the prints in our Loot, Legendary Loot series out of this. So we plan our series to fit in the paper with a minimal wastage. But when Jed and I did this, he had already created it at his end in Photoshop. So he had the XY already set. He sent it to me and we had to decide what I could do. And the size of the prints that we're doing, the XY, doesn't match any of this. To go back a second on that one, let's redraw that one, for example. Here's the same sheet of paper. This is the paper that will do 2 Great Wave prints. Okay, well, let's take the same sheet of paper. It turns out when you cut it in 4, that's the traditional Harunobu Chuban prints. When you take the same paper and you cut it in 3, this is the Mitsugiriban prints. You've seen them. We were making prints from the Doi Hanga company like that. When you cut it down again and again, this is Japanese traditional Hagaki size. It makes sense. That's the way they did it without having wastage. But our prints don't fit anyhow, anyway, on any of the traditional paper sizes. Because I just took what Jed sent me without, really editing it or thinking about it or changing. Because I didn't know how this was going to explode. So we have a real problem now in cutting the shapes we need from these larger shapes without wastage. So what we end up doing is something like, we'll cut a strip like this, which will do 2 foxes, 2 of these fox moon, then another strip that will do 3 postcard prints and stuff like that to try and balance them. Excuse me. So another way that we do this is what you're going to see next. I've got some more sheets of this paper. We've got some more of these foxes. And they are on the wide paper. And some of you know what this is going on here. We're planning, we've already made a bunch of bound books. And to make the bound books, we need a wider gutter. So this is the registration mark, but we can also push the paper wider and print them on the same blocks. So this time, what we did was we mounted them up. It turned out that when you get 2 side by side like this, it fills the sheet of paper with no wastage. So this is another reason for making those bound blocks, in that we can get extra use out of the paper free. Paper that would normally have been trimmed and thrown on the floor. We won't be making this many of those books. We're planning another 10 at the end of this year. Anyway, talk. I got to get printing here. So what I was also saying now, I've got to continue my embossing work here, but these next sheets are wider than the ones you've just seen. We don't want to waste this paper. It's expensive. It's priced per square centimeter. The sheet there, the typical Takenaga sheet that we buy for this loot, that's $25 per sheet of paper, each sheet. And then I've got to do the sizing on it. We lose some, we get spoiled prints. It's expensive. Labor is our single most expensive cost, but paper is a very, very close second to it. I'm missing a bit of the chat here, sorry. Talking to Jed, okay, good. Okay, continue, Dave. What time is it? 8:41. God, it looks like that's the only thing I'm going to be able to do here this morning. I'm supposed to be printing owls. Talking about homework, are you guys? That's so far in my rearview mirror now that I can just cackle, My God, I remember it. I didn't do it most of the time. I was a super uncooperative student. I remember my report cards. Same one, just they must have had a rubber stamp for me. David is not working, what's the word? David is not working to the level at which he's capable, or something like this, I forget. Just rubber stamped every report card. Of course I wasn't working to the level at which I was capable. There was nothing interesting to do there. Not a rebel. No. I wasn't a rebel at all. My brother was the rebel. He yelled at teachers, grew his hair long, threw stuff, fought with my mother, dropped out of school. My brother was the rebel type. He couldn't stand it either. But I didn't have the guts. I can't say I didn't have the guts. I didn't have the aggressive enough personality. I just quietly took it, watching the clock. I got to get out of here. One day. I waited my time. I finished high school, tried to go to university, dropped out. That was it. That was enough. Couldn't handle that anymore. But I wasn't a rebel at all. No. I missed the whole thing, I was in the middle of the 60s. It was the chance, tune in, tune in, drop out, but I didn't do that. I missed the Beatles, I missed all that stuff. I didn't become a hippie, but that was my era, the 1960s. I was a grad 69. Good morning, Cameron Sam. Hi. But I was no rebel. I was too weak and immature and quiet. I just took it one day. How was your train? It must be okay. You're early, actually.
Yeah, I'm earlier than I have been lately.
Trying different trains or just simply,
And I woke up earlier.
eager to get to work?
Yeah.
Tell me, come on, tell me how it is, I mean, I couldn't wait to get here this morning to work on my stuff,
Yeah, I wanted to see.
Say hello here. You can see where the screen is.
Oh, everyone's got my feet. Morning, everyone. Okay, there you go. Let's see. Did I destroy the Wi-Fi and everything?
It's been okay. We've got a very, very, very tiny number of drop frames,
okay.
and it's next to nothing. I cleared all the other software off the machine. No other machine in the building is working. Look at this. My God, Dave, you missed the Beatles. Yes, I missed the Beatles. I was a classical flute player. Real music. Beatles. None of that stuff. Whatever. Kids are pricks, and I was a prick, whatever. Nothing else to say, I would not, I do not, as much as I remember what he was like, I do not like the person who was the 15, 17, 20-year-old David, I don't, Yeah. You're too close to it, you're what, 27 or something?
Yeah.
So you're too close, but I'm happy with who I am now.
Yeah.
Very, very happy with who I am now. But I do not respect or like the boy that I was back then. So the train company, they're trying to make up for the late time, right? That you're.
Yeah.
So, do they give you a slip early? Coming to work early?
Yeah. Our train was running ahead of time. We
give you a refund on your money, Have you had one of those yet? You haven't, been on a Shinkansen when it's delayed and they're standing at the out gate with pockets of money.
No, I've never seen that.
My mother had that on her first trip. She was here.
Wow.
I had an exhibition teed up in Osaka, so she took the kids in advance down to Osaka. Or I'd gone in first and she followed later. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'd gone first to set us up. So my mother came on the Shinkansen with the two girls. My girls, they're 6 years old and 4 years old.
Yeah.
My mother can handle it. She did what's going on. And when she got to Osaka at my end, I'm waiting for them outside the gates, and I guess that there had been some snow along the line or something. I don't remember the exact numbers. It was delayed 15, 20 or half hour, enough to trigger the payback.
Yeah.
So you don't get all your money back. What you get is you get the express fare. You know how it is. It's Joe Shakin and that,
right.
So the express fare.
Yeah, it comes as two tickets. So they
and
gave you
they knew the train was stopped, so they'd be busy getting it already in little envelopes because they know who's on the train. They know how it was delayed. They must just. Maybe they've got them all ready or something. I have no idea. And as she came out of the gates, my girls didn't know what's going on. But as my mother come out of the gate, she puts her ticket in. The guy gives her this package of money, and she has no idea what's going on. He can't speak English. Just blah blah blah. Here's some money.
Here's some money. What for?
He's just like, what's going on? What's going on? And maybe he said late or something. I have no idea.
So. That's so funny.
So she brings this to me and says, "You bought my ticket in here. There's some money back."
I didn't know you get refunds just for riding the train.
So she just blew her away. Just absolutely blew her away. So, I don't know how many minutes it takes to trigger this. I don't know. So. And this doesn't happen on commuting lines around Tokyo. We're talking about an intercity express train.
Cameron is studying to be able to carve himself a late slip block.
We've had that joke before. Please, no repeats, please. No, when I said kids are pricks, I'm talking about myself. The young David was not a pleasant person. He was struggling to find his place in the universe and stuff like that. And he thought he was the smartest thing that had ever come down the pike and whatever. Just I don't want to talk about it. The 18-year-old Dave, no thanks.
No thanks. Don't want to meet him again.
No, don't want to meet him again. But whatever you pass through these stages and then stuff happens to you, and you it's okay. I'm very happy with who I am now. But my God, that kid. God.
Heard people describe the human life cycle as believing your parents know everything, believing you know everything, believing no one knows anything. But I don't know.
Okay, you're close. I guess I'm not sure if that's how I'd phrase it. The first two, I'll buy the first two, of course. So. But how would I phrase it? I have to think carefully. Yeah. What was the first stage again? Your
parents know everything.
Okay, and then second
and then
stage.
You know everything.
Well, listen. Then you. Before I said, your parents don't know anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you are kind of getting a hang of it and stuff like that. Not sure.
What is the last stage, though?
Well, I it sounds again. We touched on this in the stream a couple of days ago. I'm getting to the stage where I do think I know everything again.
Oh no!
This is maybe dangerous. Am I regressing?
Uh-oh.
I can't see myself. If I look in the mirror, I'm becoming the same 18-year-old prick that I was again. I better be careful. Maybe that's true. So. It was funny. There was an interesting customer in the shop yesterday, a guy who'd been following us online, and maybe he's watching this out of his
was that the
hotel
man
room.
in the evening?
Mr.
Was here for a while?
Names.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stayed for a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I met him and his wife. So.
Yeah, they're really good people.
Yeah.
They've been watching the stream, and I lost my thread just there, and we were talking about that, how much we know and stuff like this, So and I was saying, I think I'm within inches of grasping all the secrets of life.
All of them.
Yeah, I know why we are here. I know what life is about. What's the meaning of life? I know the two answers to that. I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So. And so the only question is expressing it, being able to explain it, But now that we think about it, it starts to sound like what I was like when I was 18, when I knew it all, So it's a bit dangerous. So keep me honest.
Okay.
I said, when this guy was here, we were chatting about it. Teiko-san was part of the conversation,
Right. Yes,
and he and I were talking about this. We're figuring things out. We know who we are. Things.
Yeah.
And Teiko-san is just sitting there, just rolling her eyes so far that they're bumping out of her head. Because she's like, I see David every day. I see his good moods and his bad moods and whatever. So he looked at her then and said, well, what's your viewpoint on this? And she said, well, we don't talk about me too. I thought, wait, what's going on? What's going on? The sexual harassment and power harassment stuff, and whatever. So she was giggling, I hope.
I hope.
I don't know. You're a guy here. Do you think there's much, harassment going on within our organization? I don't think so. What is he going to say? Yes. But is Dave's mom watching today? Don't. That's right.
Don't get me started about that.
Oh, here we go. I forgot again. My mother's on these streams. So Dave talking about how much of a jerk he was when he was 18. Let's have my mother's viewpoint on this. Come on, don't hesitate, Mom. It's okay. You can tell. She's probably composing a long
response.
Yeah. So. Yes, I don't think my mother would have seen me in that light. My mother would have seen me as. I'm guessing here. My mother would have seen me as the kid with potential. He's smart, but he's just screwing up. From her point of view, she had two kids that were really quite smart, and they sort of should have been the doctor, lawyers, or prime minister type, stuff like that, But we weren't doing that. We were misusing our potential. So I think that's probably what she would probably say. We'll see if she does choose to pop in.
Looks like she may have. Someone saying, "Was that really your mom?" I don't see her name on here though.
She heard that book says yes. Mom is
yes.
listening, so she's listening.
Yes.
Mom, tell whatever you think. So here, dish the dirt, Mom.
Dish the dirt.
It's okay. I can take it.
Yes, Mom is listening. Well, I'll get out of your hair if that takes letting hop in for a little bit.
Will's downstairs. He's building that last cabin that he's going to
I saw him
before he
working
goes.
down there.
He's leaving tomorrow morning. I think he said 11 o'clock flight or something.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure. So.
Got to be out pretty early in the morning.
And he wants to go to the pigment shop today over there. He went to the one yesterday on 10 Nose Isle. He wants to go back there. So.
Okay. Yeah, I heard he went, but then it was their day off or something. It's unfortunate.
Well, he says no. He says that he checked first and it was supposed to be open, and they had just hung a sign on the door. I don't know if that's true or if it was their day off. I don't know. But,
Aoyama-san coming again.
I don't remember. So I don't think so, actually. So, also, that old iPad you were digging up, it's behind you.
Oh, okay.
I'm powering it up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you can repurpose it or use it, it's anything. The thing is, it's a 3-year-old No.
Older than that, probably.
I bought it for the register at the shop. It's 5 years old, so the battery won't hold a good, steady, all-day charge. So.
Because Keiko-san was like, "This has been sitting on this desk."
Yeah, no, it's
not
really.
Sure where to put it.
What it is actually, it's waiting just to be tossed out. It's an iPad 2. It won't run the new software at all. The battery is ancient, so there really isn't much. Whatever, put games on it for the lunchroom or something. I don't know.
Play some Pokemon Go.
Whatever.
No, I thought though if we have some space on the register or something downstairs, you could have YouTube videos playing or have your page open so people could learn a little bit more about the shop or about you or about.
Yeah, the thing is, it needs to be plugged in all
Right.
the time because it doesn't hold a
That's
charge. So.
But it has a nice display case, so. Or, holder,
Yeah,
I
no,
guess.
that's so.
Yeah.
But that kills the Wi-Fi. The metal shield kills the Wi-Fi.
Got it. Let's do that.
Did my mother pop back in here? So, thank you, Mom. Thanks for coming in. So I get it. Quiet and well-mannered. This is what people are saying. Were you a rebel? Were you a rebel? That wasn't me at all. I couldn't do that. I was just too much of a quiet guy. So I'll buy that. Quiet and well-mannered, I'd like to think I was biding my time, but I wasn't. I was just whatever. Didn't know what to do with myself. Whatever, we all... But I like as my mother says, you were quiet, well-mannered, and past tense, she says, I loved you. It's okay. Past tense means we're talking about the past, so... Then here we are. Somebody's here. I'm in my 30s and don't know what to do with myself. I was close. 29, up to 29 is, whatever. I did a bunch of stuff, but nothing worth, whatever. It wasn't my thing, Somewhere around 29 or 30 is where it started to really come together for me, It was a combination of a few things. And I'm bumping into this, which for some reason hooked me, It's something that seems to match the particular skill set that I have, I'm not sure if that's lucky that I bumped into this or if I had been sniffing closer, looking for things. I really don't know. Now I've dropped this twice today. My usual excuse, this is not my printing bench, nay. A few more sheets left, and then we'll do a switch. We're going to pull out the key block for the owls and do... We've got a half an hour left. I should be able to get that done. There's 30 sheets in here. I should be able to get those printed. And then I got to head downstairs, all the way downstairs. Get the last few sheets of sheetrock on my toilet. For newcomers, again, newcomers, what I'm doing this morning, I'm doing the embossing of the name on some of these Fox Moon prints. They've been printed by one of our main carvers, Kubota-san. And the embossing is done with a polymer plate, which we've had made. And the embossing reads, Hori Buru Suri Kubota Kenichi. Hori is carving, Buru is my name, Bo. Suri is printing, and Kubota Kenichi is his name. So. Cameron, was there a printing job set up for this, for Kubota-san? It's possible that I didn't get that done, you know. It might have fallen through the cracks, which is a polite way of saying I just simply didn't do it, forgot.
You might not be having Wi-Fi problems, but I am. Okay. That works. I can't get the manager page to load. There we go. Okay. Which print was that again?
Fox Moon, I forget the number. 0203 perhaps, I'm not sure, I'm sorry.
It looks like it is not on here.
It went to Kubota-san about 10 days ago, so if you can run one up, please. I don't know how many sheets. I think we're getting back about 80 sheets. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Back to the stream here. There we are. Embossing is done on this batch of Fox Moons. I'll then take these downstairs. Next step is I take them under the microscope downstairs, and there's spots where there's a little bit of paper bark and stuff like that, which I have to clean up. And then they'll go to our Ome shipping center for storage. And they wait there. These prints now, nothing happens to these prints. They sit and wait now. And two things happen. We sometimes send batches over them to Jed. Actually, I said there's 20. 20 will be going now to Jed. He will sign them. We pay royalty. He signs them, returns them to us, and they sell in the shop. We don't sell online. All the Fox Moons and Ukiyo-e Heroes online selling is done through Jed. So we hold the inventory here, and then when he's ready, when he's getting low, he orders us, Dave, send me over 20 more Fox Moons. So we then invoice him at the wholesale rate, of course, and over they go to him, and he then sells them online. So it's all at Jed's IP. We just simply make them, and we try and make them in advance of his needs. We don't always succeed. So as I said at the moment, he's not ready to buy more of these Fox Moons from us, but we know that he will be soon, and we're out of stock at this end. So we print them and hold them and print them and hold them, and then wait for orders to come from Jed. Now, some real printing. Let's go. I got a half an hour left. Let's do this thing. What do I need? I need some sumi. I need a tile. I need a very, 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 very little bit of paste, almost nothing. I need my black brush, which is still sitting here from when I used it the other day. Get the block freshened up. And look for my paper. Excuse me. Do I have brushes for colors? Yes, we do. We brush with blue marked on the black. It's back. It's got black. This is Hada skin tone. This is a brush for green. We absolutely keep them. Absolutely. There's a limit to how much pigment we can wash out of any given brush. So, what's this talking about? Roy? What's this? And Roy is my name actually too. The R in my name, David R. Bull, the R is Roy. So, and that was my dad's name. Okay, let's go. Where are they? We have 15 and 15. This was, yes. Was it yesterday we were here? I can't remember. What day is it today? Friday. I think this was yesterday morning we did these. I don't even know what day it is. Come on, warm up. Let's go. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I assume something sensible, whatever. I think we're ready to go. By the way, Cameron, I meant to ask, are we sold out of owls yet after yesterday's little mini rush? Or?
We sold 3 or 4.
Okay.
I think.
So no panic yet. We're still okay, are we?
No panic yet.
Okay.
Next week, though.
Next week, right? Thanks. That was funny yesterday.
Did you see the acolytes of the barn cover page change?
No, I haven't done. What's changed?
It instead of your face, it now has the owl on it.
No way, really? Go right, all right.
Highlights of the owl.
That's a new page, or that's the...
That is the original page that's in the cover photo.
Okay, I know what. I have no browser open here, so I'll take a look. Really?
Oh, it just happened 2 minutes ago, apparently.
Is that what's going on? So somebody's posted about this. Look at the fan page. Check the fan page for a second. So something's going on.
I'll show
Okay.
it to you. I'll bring it over. Acolytes of the Owl, a group for fans of traditional woodblock owl print.
All right. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
This just keeps getting better and worse, better and better,
Better?
worse and worse.
More extreme and more extreme. I don't know if it's extreme good or bad.
The thing is, that's quite an in joke. People
Yeah.
just come to that page. I think they get it.
What is happening here? Wow. Funny.
The gentleman who was here yesterday, I referred to him earlier, we're talking about work and life and, overwork and stuff like this, the same conversation. I'm here like 18 hours a day doing this stuff. But, come on, who else has so much fun? It beats working what I'm doing, What I mean, Cameron down there next to him, he's new here. It's his job, he's getting paid. He comes, we give him a paycheck, stuff like that, I don't know if he's enjoying himself or having fun. I think it's a good place to work, I guess, right? There's not so much stress and whatever. The pay is okay or whatever. But for me, it's nothing like that. This isn't work. It's not, when we were younger, there's that thing. We find a job, we try and, That's just nothing to do with me anymore. It's not part of life anymore. The idea of job and work and paydays and stuff, it's erased from my life. It just doesn't exist anymore. I think there was an era like this, If you go back before the Industrial Revolution and stuff, not that I'm suggesting it's a good idea, but if you think about it before that idea, before the Industrial Revolution, I guess people did stuff, but it wasn't jobs. You didn't have a job that you would go to and come home and have a holiday and get paid and stuff. There were farmers, there were craftsmen, there were people doing stuff, but there wasn't a system of jobs. What are you going to do when you grow up? It wasn't part of our culture or our life, And I'm in a post world like that. And I'm sort of back like it was before that. I don't think of life in terms of a job or things like that, These are looking good. Not sure what you're talking about. Looking at, somebody's posted a link in, the Mokankan shop. Is this Actually, now that I remember all this, there was something I was supposed to post a few days ago. If I go to our blog here, just a sec. Here we are. People ask me about this. I know there's a post I made on our blog many years ago. I'm not quite sure exactly when I wrote this first. It was written somewhere in 2006 or whatever, talking about what we think Mokuhankan will be and stuff like that. I meant to post this the other day. This is a safe link. It's a link It's a story. You can't read it right now. Don't even think about reading it right now. It's a long, 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 long story about the vision for this place, what I hope Mokuhankan may be able to become over the next few years. As I said, don't start reading it now. It's hours and hours and hours of reading material. It's a small book, I guess, actually, whatever. And I meant to post that as background for people who are here and what's going on and what's this place all about and what are we doing here. That's the vision from about, it's more than 10 years ago that I wrote that, the vision for what we're trying to do here. I wrote that before Jed came along. Before I had any staff, it was just a thought for the future. And then I've edited it a little bit since then to include references to the ukiyo heroes. Tiny bit dry here. If I put too much water on it, it's not good. Water-based ink. Yes, everything we do is water. Almost everything. I did some embossing of that text in oil-based ink, but no, our main printing is water, 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 water. It's pieces of wood cut into shapes, a natural wood with no finishing, no varnish, no nothing on top. Water-based pigments brushed over with a little bit of paste sometimes to help give them body. It's the world's simplest, absolute simplest recipe for making prints of any kind. A piece of wood, some water-based pigments, a piece of paper, and a little bit of pressure to match them all up together. There's nothing simpler than this. And design, no, I no longer design. I did some years ago. I tried to design prints, not very successfully. I'm not an artist. I'm an engineer. We joke about this all the time. People come in here thinking this is an art shop. This is not an art shop. Our whole building, all 3 stories of it, is an engineering facility. This is a factory. The art part of our stuff comes externally. People like Jed drawing pictures or old images we pick up like this one from historical sources. And Mokuhankan is an engineering company. We build stuff. Have you ever tried illuminating pigments that glow in the dark? No, I'm not sure if I'm quite interested. The attraction for us is the beauty of the way that these pigments get pressed into the soft Japanese paper. And whatever, if somebody else would try that, that's fine, go for it. But I myself don't have too much interest in stretching this craft into new places. You know, this comes up all the time. People are carving with lasers or 3D printing or whatever. These are wonderful, interesting things. And for a different workshop, go for it, try these things. But for us ourselves, for us here, really, we're one corner of the world that will just play with this traditional way of doing things because it's just so beautiful. And it will encourage people around us to try and experiment with modern approaches to this. Oh, coming quick and fast, your questions. I'm sorry, just a sec. I can't ignore this too much. I got to be careful tonight. Someone's asking, how am I registering the paper by eye? I'm not, no way. You see, there's somebody new here. The block, if I can get the angle right, can you see it there? There's an L mark carved into the wood. And over at the other side here, there's a horizontal mark carved into the wood. So my paper, I'm putting it into the L and resting it against the horizontal mark. There's nothing being done by eye here at all. All of the blocks in the set have the same marks. You can see it easier here. The color block I finished yesterday has an L mark and a horizontal mark. This piece of wood is drying as I'm talking. Here we go, into the corner. Click, lock, into the line, click, lock. Thumbs are locking everything now. This is holding the paper in place, and now the paper won't move after I've pressed it into the block. Up she comes, bingo. YouTube videos. I was dreaming about that last night, Next YouTube video. I'm late. The next YouTube video is decided. It's part 2 of the bookbinding. I've got to do that. Part 2 of the bookbinding. It's all in the can. It's all in the can. Just needs me to edit it and start something, I know. I've downstairs work, upstairs work. But people are waiting. Patreons are waiting. Everybody's waiting. The problem now, Chris, is now with the construction started downstairs, there's no time that I haven't got more emergency work to do down there. Ding, question ding. I didn't hear a question ding at all. Have there been questions coming in? I haven't heard anything at all in the actual real question box. There was one. I must have missed it. Sorry about that. Back at 8:19, there was a question. Do you select the wood blocks or do we order them and take what they send? I don't know. It's changed over the years. For the last couple of years now, we've been making our own wood blocks here. It's on the list of things to do to make a video with Aoyama-san to show how we do this. This wood block here is one that we made ourselves. We're buying cherry, not very good cherry, but we're buying cherry from the lumber yards here. We get Shina plywood, which we just buy from any lumber yard. We bond it ourselves here, Aoyama-san and I. We bond it with epoxy in a little homemade press we've made here. Then the first step of surfacing, we surface it with a simple planer we've got here, just to plane it down to size. And then the finishing, and this has changed in the past few months. For the finishing, I was doing it with a cabinet scraper, and the girls were complaining about the way that the pigment and the wood were interacting. It wasn't a good solution. Aoyama-san came along and he tried sanding some with a little, polishing sander. And it was a bit of a better improvement than what I was doing, but still not good. We did a bit more research, and a couple of months back, we found a guy in the lumber district, Kiba, who has a super interesting planing machine. It's got a bed, the jointer. It's got this thing that spins, and you push the wood across it. The wood goes across the top, and the thing spins. It's like a planer upside down. This is like a jointer with one blade that doesn't spin. There's just a blade in the base of this thing, and it's adjustable to tiny micrometer degrees. The wood slides across it, and there's a belt at the top that grabs the wood and jams it through this thing. And the wood gets dragged across this blade. So it's literally a plane. I don't know the name for this machine. It's not a jointer. It's not a planer. I don't know the word for it. And the guy said he thought he could do our stuff, so we sent him a few samples. We went over there and watched. I took a bunch of pictures while he was doing it. And holy crap, it does. Shoom! That belt grabs and fires this wood right through the thing, spits it out the other end, and it comes out like glass. So the last bunch of blocks we've got here, the ones that Chongsan is carving right now for meteoric power, were planed on this machine, and we're very, very looking forward to seeing how they come out. I don't know what the machine's called. There's a plain knife on the bed. The wood is dragged through it. And we've been using he showed us a sample with our little pieces, but in the other corner of the shop there, they were doing things like 20-foot strips of wood being fired through this thing. And a 20-foot long wood shaving was so ripped out of it. There's 15. It's 9:30. God, I'm still running late again. Cameron-san, can you please can you check things are okay downstairs? I think Teiko-san and Kawai-san should be setting things up.
With Kawai-san and who?
Teiko and Kawai, I think, should be there. If they're okay, I can sit and run this.
For a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Is there a party at 10?
I don't have any idea. I'm sorry. Marunaka Super Surfacer. Really, is that what it's called in English? My Japanese name, Marunaka Super Surfacer. Sounds right, because that's what it does. It's an up-facing plane blade with a belt that rips the wood across the top of it. And all super adjustable. And he had been using it for softer woods with the plane blade set 90 degrees. But when we tested our cherry, he tipped the plane blade at about 60 or so, and it worked much, much, much better. So it's sliced. This block is drinking. Things under control? Yeah, okay, thank you. This is not the finished print. There's a sepia color, a brown color, and a green leaf color to come. So there's 3 more impressions still to come on this print. This block, it's going to be just about the right condition to get going just as I'm finishing these 30 sheets. It's silly. 30 sheets is nothing. You got to do a couple hundred, and the first batch are struggling with water. But then the block gets stabilized. So doing just such a short run like this is pointless, so difficult. And people overseas who are trying this, they do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 sheets. it's really a struggle because that's the warm-up time. That's why I encourage people to get a bunch of copy paper, run 10 sheets or so at least before you start your real washing, just to get the block going. And don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Oh, the guy with the Baron Hara-san, he's rubbing his face all like this. Whatever. Me, I have a shower every day, so there's no oil left on my face, but whatever. So that's a bit pretentious. It's kind of the way the old guys used to do it. They used to rub it on their hair. They used to use camellia oil for dressing for their hair. So for this one, just rub it on your hair or your face, because your face is oily and messy, and it slides easily. We use, we get camellia oil, little bottles of it, put it on the pad, and bingo, we're good to go. I'm not about to give up my showers. The staff would have something to say about that if I did that. So. I know the video you're talking about, it's the one with the sounds. They've really high mic'd everything and the exotic mastery of Japanese printmaking. Tie your belt on first. Ready to kill. Do I have any stories like the Ito Susumu video? Yes, I've got thousands of such stories. We were talking about that in the shop yesterday too, you know. I can make a video like that every day for weeks and not repeat myself, but I can't. It's just too much going on, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean here. Cut and clip job, outsource it via the fan page. I'm not actually sure what you're talking about. I'm sorry. No. Making the next video, you mean? Is it winter in Japan right now? Yes, it's winter, of course. It's our coldest season. Ooh, Daikon. When's Daikon's coming? We're in it right now, aren't we?
I'm actually not familiar with that term.
It's the traditional calendar. I know, you know, Oshogatsu and whatever, and Daikon. And I think first week in February or something. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. Daikon. I don't even know what the kanji is, but it's the...
Big Samui. So Oki Samui
Is it that simple? Really?
Yep.
Really?
The extreme cold.
When is it on the calendar?
Approximately January 20th.
So we've just passed it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just before the New Year in the old lunar calendar system, because this is so. So it would have been the late depths of in our culture, late depths of December before the New Year.
Right.
So. You whippersnappers these days. You've never heard that, even with your... Okay.
No. That is pretty funny. It's simple kanji.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to be that simple, sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody's translating season of radish. So, not daikon. So, daikon. Close, but no cigar, so... He says it's December, I think January 20th is the current date for that part of the old traditional calendar, I think. So. What do we got left? About 5 or 6 sheets here, and that'll be it for today. I hear those orders getting punched in one by one.
Yep.
Right, 2 sheets left. Here we go. Got this. I think actually the last sheet in the deck, the next one coming up, I think I spoiled it when I was doing the background. It's easy to rush just when you're on the last couple of sheets. Rushing just a little bit too much, a little bit lost focus. So for us, in any given deck of prints, the most, what's the word, dangerous ones, the first 2 or 3 are not going to be good copies. And frequently the last one, at least in my experience, that's because I'm such a, whatever. If I were a perfect craftsman, you hold your concentration right to the end. So maybe I'm the kind of marathon runner that would get clipped at the post, somebody else coming past me at the end. I don't know. Anyway, this last one I think is not so good. We'll see. You read the last sheet. So with some of the streaks, there's quite a few streaks visible at the bottom. I don't know, it might be okay. We'll see. If I don't screw this up. So okay, here we are. What is it? Today is Friday morning. Yeah, I can speak with fair confidence about what's going to be happening on the stream tomorrow morning. This is now 3 color impressions done on this block. There are 3 more to go. So of course that's going to be tomorrow's stream. What happens after that, it's just still too far away for me to tell. I don't know. I got to emphasize again, as I said perhaps about a week ago, now that construction has started downstairs, there are going to be, quite some disruptions to the streaming here. I have to get to the wood shop early in the morning, things like that. So please go easy on me if it turns out that there's days when I'm not streaming. But tomorrow, I think I will be here to finish up this job. Okay, guy, I'm overtime already. I'm supposed to be downstairs. Do that. Thanks for joining today. It looks like it's been a fun chat. I haven't read it all. I'll save it and have a look at it a bit later on. Thank you very much again. And I'll be back here again tomorrow, same time, same station, with a continuation of our work. Look at talking about snow. We're okay here today, I think, still. Thanks again, guys. See you next time. Cameron, any news for the hot mic here?
No.
We play with this, like playing with fire. One day I'll forget. Did it leave the mic on all day or something like that? Forget to turn it off, whatever. Okay, gang. Thanks again. Bye bye. See you next time.